There's no better place to be than right here if you're looking to build an income online. Why would you ever go it alone when you could have experts like these testing constantly on your behalf to find exactly the right formula for you to win big? There is no downside, there is no catch. This is it, staring you right in the face. Why would you go anywhere else?
Hey, Top 100. So I wanted to give you an update on the leads that are coming from YouTube. As you know, the other day, I switched the YouTube leads from going to me to going into rotating into the top 100. And I think we did that on Friday night. I might have my days mixed up a little bit. I think that's right. And then on Saturday, it was a pretty good flow. And a lot of you have reported, getting good leads. Most of those came in on Saturday. It seemed to be pretty consistent with what I was seeing. Now, we had the daily budget set at $71, no, $79 per day. It would go over that sometimes, and we're still learning why does it sometimes go over that. Facebook was much closer at hitting budget restrictions that you'd set. And that's why I caution you guys from heading into YouTube ads real too quickly. And like, we don't want to send you in there yet because there's a lot of issues. There's no quick fix to generating leads where there's no issues. As you move around from option to option, there's always something. With YouTube, the setup's tricky. And then there's the ad budgets are kind of all over the place where we're setting a restriction like that. And sometimes it would go way past it. And so there's lots of things we're meeting with consultants. We're spending a lot of money and time investigating all these nooks and crannies so that when we set you guys up, we set you guys up right. The first step to sharing some of the happiness that was coming from YouTube leads was to give it to you guys, the top 100. But then, Sunday, I shared with you in a recent update, the problem was the delivery went way down. And we don't know if that's because some of you guys kind of getting excited about YouTube and the results that we were sharing have jumped in, and that's made more competition for the same audiences. That's possible. There's lots of different audiences we can all go after, and we want to approach that well, because it's not sustainable for the entire community to duplicate YouTube ads if we're all going after the same audiences. So that's something we want to manage. Obviously, we don't want to stop you from trying this stuff, but do understand it's going to jack the price way up if we all just flood in there. So we're really trying to explore first with our money and time the best way for everyone to optimize YouTube ads. And I'm not going to say don't go try to do YouTube ads, but there's definitely some pitfalls and lots of issues like I'm sharing with you that we're navigating and figuring out before we can scale it up. And we're still very early. And again, we're meeting with we got lots of consultants because one's good at one thing and not another, and the other's really good at another thing and not another. They all kind of posture themselves to being experts on the whole thing. But as we dig in, as we always do, we always find the limits of things, and we find areas where even the experts don't know the answers. All this stuff is just really interesting. But anyway, so we're meeting with another expert today, like our top expert, the most expensive one, who's going to help us understand some things that I'm sharing with you that really aren't making sense. Like why, I can guess why the delivery went down on Sunday. I think we only spent, I can't remember what it was, but it went way down the delivery. And then yesterday, it was like $16. So some of you got some leads, but it's not delivering. So what we did today, just to learn and to test, that I wanted to share with you, was we increased the ad that's going to the top 100. We increased the daily ad spend, the average, maybe, and that's why it probably surpasses it. Sometimes it says average daily ad spend. We increased it from 79 to 321. I don't know why we picked 321 as opposed to 300, but that's what we did. And so, what is that? Multiply by over 3 times, quite actually over 4 times. Oh wait, well, anyway, over 3 times, I think. Uh, Actually, a little under 3 times. My math off the top of my head isn't all that great. Okay, so we increased the daily ad spend now by about 3 times. And what popped up doesn't even make any sense. It goes, your campaign is limited by budget, preventing your ads from showing as often as they could. This was a prompt that came up when we entered in 321. And it says, get an estimated 0 more weekly clicks by increasing your budget to 240. Makes zero sense. We're entering in a higher budget than 240. Anyway, it's not making sense. And that's okay. Sometimes these platforms don't always make sense, and the little prompts and tips don't always make sense. That's why you just got to get in there and get your hands dirty, which is what we're doing. And we're learning with our money and time. I'm going to pass this stuff on to you and kind of sharing as we go. I just want to let you know to try to, I don't expect that, like, this shouldn't change the delivery, but I just want to know, like, it, because let me recap. When we had the budget set at $79, we were spending $79 and sometimes $115 a day generating leads with the exact same ad. We switched it over to the top 100, which shouldn't change anything. Going to the rotator, it shouldn't change anything. We switched it over to the top 100, and then the very first day it delivered really well. Then the next day the delivery went way down, and then yesterday the delivery was down. Today, I think it's only spent like $1 so far here. It's noon. So increasing the average daily budget shouldn't change anything. But the reason why I'm doing it is I just want to see, like, is there some weird little algorithm thing going on that's kind of just keeping it lower than it would be if we increase the daily budget. It's not a tremendous amount of logic I can explain about why I want to test it. I just have this intuition that it could possibly maybe influence it. I just want to take this opportunity to know. And so we're increasing it to 321 from 79 just to see if, like, kind of gets it unstuck. But again, there could be lots of explanations. One, people in our community, I know there's a couple that have started YouTube ads, might be competing with us, driving the price up. So maybe the price that we were paying per CPA is no longer working because of that reason. Or it could be because other people in the industry just happen to start, going after the same audience, driving the price up that we need to bid. No way to know for sure if that could be why. Or there could be some quirky thing that we're not aware of that when we switch the link over to the rotator link, it somehow affected results, which makes no sense. But, that's one of the things that changed about 48 hours before this deliverability rate went down. So that could be. And there's really not a lot of logic to why increasing the average daily budget from $79 to $321 would have an impact on more delivery, because we're not even reaching the $79 daily budget threshold now. But I just want to check. I just want to take the opportunity to check. So that's the one thing we're doing now. We're meeting with our consultant to see if they have any tips today or tomorrow, as soon as they can, like urgently, to discuss this. Because we want to get more leads flowing in. Now, to be really clear, we've delivered about what I promised to the top 100 at this point in terms of 10% of my income. But somewhere along the lines, you'll recall, I promised to give you what I made from referring people into MLGS, which it almost doubles what you would have at this time from 10% of my HempWorks income. And so for that reason, for throwing that in, there's still a lot owed, but I'm just, I don't want to just waste it. Like, I first of all wanted to make sure that it was going to people in the top 100 rotator who are actually following up with their leads, who are paying it, who are actually driving leads in, because that's part of the commitment. I had a couple top 100 people like act surprised when they found out that they had made a commitment to prospecting, and then or that they thought that they could just be trying to prospect in their warm market but not be getting any pre-enrollees, and that somehow that was going to lead to success, that we were just going to build two legs just because in the top 100. I mean, that just, stuff like that just blows my mind. And so we need to address that, and I'm still moving through it. I'm still going through everybody in the top 100 to make sure that everyone's really clear on what the heck it means to commit to serious prospecting. And then so that you can succeed, and so that we're not wasting leads. So we're not just another team that works hard and fails. Like, it's really important that we're clear on that stuff. So, and that's taking a lot more time than I thought. It's costing me a lot of days, and that's okay. We got to do it. We got to move through it. And I'm still doing that. So that's one thing before we just, really crank this up. I want to get the people in the top 100 rotator that are doing what they're supposed to be doing to succeed. Again, this isn't about me dictating some arbitrary set of rules just for the kicks. This is about making sure that people are doing what it takes to succeed, and the commitments that people agreed to get into the top 100, I think were pretty clear. While it was difficult to be really specific, like sometimes people want to know exactly how many pre-enrollees do I need to get in there, to meet my quota. This isn't a job. Like, it doesn't work like that. There's a lot of variables, but it's just kind of obvious. Like, if somebody's doing what they need to do. And as a coach, I can look at that and go, look, you're not doing it. You're not really meeting the spirit of the commitment. It's just kind of obvious. It should be obvious really to everybody. And if it's not, it's my job to make sure that it's clear. Like, as an example, when I see that somebody's gotten significantly more top 100 leads in their second leg than they've driven in a 2-week period, like that's definitely a recipe for disaster. And so it's my job to make sure that that's clear. So that's one thing that I'm working on now, to make sure people understand what it takes to succeed. There's a little bit of calibrating we need to do there, make sure that everyone at the top of this organization is leading properly. And so I'm going through that before we deliver a lot more traffic. But I'm ready to deliver the traffic to those that are in there, but this thing just stopped delivering. So let's see if we can get this cranked back up while I'm going through the top 100 still, and making sure everyone's understanding what it takes to succeed and win here. And then I'll keep you posted on this. If this doesn't work, by the end of tomorrow, of course, we might get some new information from the expert we're meeting, the consultant. But by this time tomorrow, if it still isn't unstuck, if it's not delivering the speed we want it to, that it was, then we're going to increase the CPA. And that's what we actually think is needed right now. That's my best guess. I'm just not doing it yet because I want to see if this changes anything, increasing the average daily spend. I don't think it will, but if it does, it's going to be interesting. Of course, here's where things get really funny and tricky with these testings. Imagine if we increase the daily ad spend like we just did to 321, and then bam, let's say it starts delivering. Was that really the reason, or was there some other reason and then we think it's this reason? So that kind of stuff can happen. So you have to test things like over time before you really start to figure this stuff out. So cause and effect, you got to really know if what you did actually created the difference, or is it just possible that the competition that was competing for those keywords stopped advertising at the exact same time, which can happen. So we'll keep you posted. Again, if we don't see a lot of top 100 leads start rolling in the way this was within the next 36, 48 hours, we're going to increase the CPA, which is probably what the consultant's going to recommend. So keeping you posted. And I don't know, I'm really liking what we're seeing. I got a second YouTube ad up and running, driving traffic to me so that we could compare, because it's a different audience. And when you first start an ad, it can be quite expensive. Right now, it's like $10, a little over $10 a lead. But we just turned it on, and it takes time for the AI to figure stuff out and to get that cost down. So we'll keep you posted. Right now, the other ad that I'm running is about $10 a lead, which I'm still fine with. And we got lots more to share, but this is where we're at with it right now. And I'll keep you posted within the next 36, 48 hours. If we have to, we'll change that. So we'll bump up the CPA. We'll probably increase the cost of our lead for the top 100. But I'll keep you posted. Maybe it won't. There's a lot of interesting variables in play. We'll just keep watching it, looking at our cost per lead. So far, really liking what we're seeing. But before we just like unleash you guys into YouTube, like we need to sort some of this stuff out, test these things. That's why I'm sharing it with you, so you can learn without the big, heavy investment of time and money. And then when you jump in, you've got like really refined guidance for specifically what we're doing. I'll end it with this. Even the top experts that have managed, $100 million, $100 million ad campaigns on YouTube, their knowledge is niche to what exactly they're marketing. And so what you're getting by having us do this, meeting the consultants, testing with our money, sharing the process along the way, is really niche specific, specialized knowledge to what is going to make you money with YouTube ads and other types of ad platforms we're doing. You can't hire this kind of help. It would cost a friggin' fortune. In fact, we're bugging our consultants all the time, and we're pushing them to the limit. And it's like, we're throwing money at them to get their time and their knowledge. They're not used to these kinds of questions, and this kind of hands-on help are really pushing the limits of how fast we can learn on this stuff to develop specialized knowledge, which we're passing on to you. I just really hope you understand that, and that the value of it actually far surpasses what I think most people realize is typical. It usually would just cost an absolute fortune to get this kind of specialized knowledge. But we're really committed, we're tenacious, and we're going to pass it all on to you. We'll keep you posted.